All right, I think we're going. Are we going? I think we're going. Sophia's going to ignore us tonight.
I'm not doing it. It's not my fault. I will listen. I don't have a thingy. I don't need that right
You have to do an interview or something later, don't you?
I have, I'm doing. I always say I have an interview, but what I mean to say is that I am part of an interview process. That's one of my jobs. So
I don't know if people can hear you or not, but that's okay.
Well, that's okay. You can give me a mic. I'll sit here and chat and listen to you. I just have to
Test. All right, I think there you go. Don't forget to take it off when you go in the back for your interview process.
Right? Yeah. No. Don't worry. I will.
So we had a whole whack of people in here that left right at 7 o'clock because that's just the way that the timing was. There was actually a party, a group of, I don't know how many people came in, 15 people maybe, I don't know. And apparently they had reservations somewhere, so they had to bail out of here just at that one time. But they came in and had cake, and then they were gonna go eat dinner. So, where is my coffee?
I don't know, but
It's over
I got
here.
mine.
I haven't finished making it.
All right. I am in the process of. What am I doing? This person. Mumbly, mumbly, mumbly. Mumbly, mumbly, mumbly.
All right. Yeah. So we came in this morning. It was kind of funny. Came in just a tad early. Last night I stayed very, very late, and the room that away are going to be our back room, sort of kitchen prep area. We needed to paint it because we had never painted it. So I stayed really late last night. I figured I'd use my paint sprayer on it because that might be quicker. And I'm going to turn my music down a little bit. So I stayed late prepping all that. I thought it was going to just take a short amount of time, but it took like 2 hours. But the nice thing was I could come in today and just dump paint in the sprayer and just hose the thing down, and it went pretty quick. It wasn't too terribly bad. And it actually looks pretty good. You guys want to see it? I'll wait till later. We'll look at it later. And I pretty much only missed a couple of spots.
You did a really good job.
It should be fine. The one thing that I want to do, since we sprayed black, the entire place is black. This is sort of a battleship gray. And so the ceilings back in that room, this wall here goes up 12 feet, and then there's the remainder up above it, and then the one behind it is not so tall. I think that one's 10 feet, about 10 feet. And so those are painted all gray, but then on the one wall with the cinder block, the top is painted black, and then the gray is goes up about 8 feet or so. Yeah, about 8 feet or so. And it just sort of, since I used a sprayer, there's not a sharp line there. So I think what I'm going to do, the one remaining thing that I'm going to do before I finish all of this back, this is just flat black paint on the wall, so I can use a rattle can. I'm just going to mask off a nice line and then rattle can it, and just to get a nice crisp line there. I don't like the sort of blendy thing that's going on there. But yeah, so tomorrow, or maybe tonight before we go, we have all the sinks. We pulled all the sinks and everything out of this room. So we have 2 sinks, and they're stainless steel tables with sinks in. So we're gonna bring those, they're in the workshop. We're gonna put those in here, and then tomorrow, Sophia is mostly gonna be working the arcade while I finish that. So I gotta plumb those in and get those all ready to go. And then I have up front here, I have a place for a sink, and then I've got a couple of outlets I need to put. I have to put the receptacle on the outlet wires. One for the espresso machine, and then one just another one for the fridge and some other odds and ends. So that's the plan tomorrow. And then I don't think I'm going to put the sink in the front here yet. I think I'm going to wait until we bring the espresso machine in. So this is all for the espresso stuff. So hey, there's Spike. Hello, Spike. Happy Friday to you. So we will
So this one is a little different.
get that all good to go, and then Sunday I won't be here, and Sophia won't be here, but Jacob will be here, and Sunday is the start of my week off vacation. So I'm gonna take a week off and not do anything. I think I'm gonna try to go into the studio and write some music. I know Sunday itself, I'm going to sit my ass on the couch with a cup of coffee, and that's my plan for the entire day. I'm just going to relax. I'm going to put my feet up. I'm not going to do anything. Maybe I'll play some video games on my tablet. I don't know, but I'm not going to do anything of significance. And then I want to cook some food. I like to cook, so I will cook something fun for dinner. And then, Monday, Tuesday we have off. I have off. And then Sophia will be in the following week.
Next week?
Next week, and then she'll take a week off.
Yeah, Sunday to Saturday, and then Jacob's going to work the following Sunday so that Seven can have more than a week off.
Oh wait, yeah, you're working this Sunday.
Yeah.
Jacob's working the one after
So
that. That's
Seven
right.
will have like 10 days off, which I think he deserves, and then I'll have like 10 days off. A week plus a couple days.
That clock is awesome there. I love the clock.
It's really good.
We got in for the shop, for the retail space. I'm in a Camera Safari Adventure Time.
Camera Safari time.
Because it's hilarious. I don't think we have the scene now, because you guys rarely see this vantage point. Look, there I am. Hi. You're rarely going to see this. So, yeah, you can't see the clock. It's right there. All right, let me change this. Look. Wait, I gotta come around, get closer. I love these things. Kit Kat clocks. I've always wanted one, never had one. So now I have this one. We're gonna try and wholesale them. We've got a few more in to sell. Right there. We have a pink one coming, and then we'll probably get some red ones or something. They have a whole rainbow of flavors, so we will see how it goes. Well, I guess since I've got this going, yeah, this is what I did. I painted it, so I think it looks pretty good. So the sinks will go here, and then I ordered today. They're at the steel worker place. There's going to be a sheet of metal 4 foot tall. It'll go across here and it'll come 3 feet out this way. The sheet metal guys are folding it and making it so that it all kind of looks nice. It's sort of this crinkled metal thing. I think it's aluminum, it might be stainless, I don't know, but whatever, it doesn't matter. It's gonna go right across here. It'll be the backsplash of the fridges. Then this is our freeze dryer. It's basically gonna stay here, but we're gonna get it up even with the table here. It'll be here. This is all going away, and then this table might stay here. We'll just push it up against the wall. And then this freezer will probably stay here. and there's a work surface that we put on top of it that will probably just leave that because we don't use this for very much. But although we might move this out front, and look, there's the employee's washroom. I haven't done anything to it yet. Yeah, and then a fridge, and then more shelving and all that other good stuff. So that's what I did today. That paint. Yeah. Paul Clark, cheers from Seashelt, BC.
Ooh.
Hello.
Hello.
Seashelt is where I got my volley pinball machine. And it took me a really long time to get it from the guy. It was sort of funny. And there's Rebecca. Hello, Rebecca.
Hello, Rebecca.
Sophia's she's working. She's still working.
I'm always working.
Yeah, my volley. I found that someone listed it on probably Craigslist. I got a lot of machines through Craigslist on the West Coast. This machine for sale, $300 or something stupid like that, like really dirt cheap. And or maybe he didn't list the price. I don't remember at this point. It was a while ago. So I contacted him, and it was covered with BC. You must be very old. Yeah. It was in 10 BC. Yeah. So Seashelt it's a ferry boat away from where I was living. It was probably 2 hours to get there, 3 hours to get there from Mission, Seashelt.
Yeah, maybe 2.5, 3 hours because we have to drive to the ferry and then go across on the ferry. The ferry's not too long to Seashelt though, but then driving off, so.
I don't know. Let's look.
Maybe 2.5 hours each way.
Yeah.
It's a long day to
It
do
was
in one
it was
trip.
a bit of a voyage to do it.
Yeah.
So let's look. So Seashelt, BC, and then directions. We were living in Mission.
Oh, jeez.
So 3 hour, 20-minute drive is what it's saying. And then there's the ferry boat from here to here. Right, so I contacted the guy and said I'm happy to bounce up there on a Saturday or Sunday or whatever, no problem. And he got right back to me and said, can't do it this month. I'm doing a thing and I won't be around and but I'll let you know when I get back. So this sort of went on. I had to tie him down to a time because it's a drive, it's a drive and a ferry boat and all that other stuff. So I had to just nail him down on a particular time and everything, and I just couldn't do it, and it took forever. And it was probably 8 months before we finally nailed him down on a time. At one point I had given up, and he had taken the listing down, and then he had relisted it again, and so then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go get this damn thing. And I think it was that time when he relisted again. It was a week or two before we were driving up there. It wasn't too long after that. So we get up there. The story was he bought the house. Volley was in the machine was in the house. He bought the house with it. And he had no interest in it whatsoever. He was a carpenter by trade, so he had a workshop in his basement, and Volley was sitting in part of his workshop, and it was basically just covered in wood and scraps, and just he was just packing stuff on top of it. So he didn't know if it worked. We took everything off of the game. We looked at it, and the whole playfield was covered in a layer of sawdust, like just dust from being in there for 10 years or however long he had the thing. There was the only major problem with it was that it looked like he had spilled a little bit of stain, and it splashed onto the side, so he wiped it off. So a little on one side of it, there's a little bit of stain, really light on it, but with me just looking at it, I assumed that it was probably okay, and I got it for $200 or $300. Like I got it for next to nothing. Took it home. We
put it in the driveway.
I took the glass off of it, and I took the whole thing out onto the driveway. It wasn't on the legs. And I just set it on the driveway and cracked it open, put the hood up, got the air compressor, and I just hosed it out. And it was just like this.
Completely different machine.
The machine itself, the paint looked brand new. It was amazing, and it needed all of the rubber. Was probably the original rubber on it. It probably hadn't been played since like the early '80s. It really was a gem. And there was nothing wrong with it after I got it all cleaned up. And, in fact, I don't even think I had to do that much work to it to get it to run. Maybe a little bit with maybe a scroll reel or two needed a little bit of work. I'm not sure. I don't remember. It was a while ago, but there wasn't very much wrong with it after I cleaned it all up. Cleaned it up, set of rubbers, all that, off it goes, and it's here today. It wasn't meant to be in the arcade, to be honest. Volley was one of those ones that I bought, and I really liked it, and it was going to come and visit the arcade, and then I was going to take it out. We were going to have it set up at home. We don't have any machine set up at home right now, so we don't really have a good place in our house to have one. So we probably won't do that, but it's here. I haven't played it for a while. I should play it. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked on chats. Can I make my chat window bigger? Is that possible? No, it doesn't look like it. Paul says 40-minute ride from Horseshoe to Bay to Gibson's. Outlane says, I missed out on a cheap pin because it was 2.5 hours away. I will drive 4 hours in one direction to pick up something without blinking. That's the drive to Halifax and back. It's about 4 hours if we have to go over the bridge. If the ferry is running and hasn't exploded or caught fire, that trims down a drive to Halifax, because we live not far away from the ferry terminal on the island. So, like I can walk to the ferry terminal from our house. Basically, it's pretty close. So that makes the voyage to Halifax a little bit better, but you never know with the ferries that they've been getting. We had one catch fire, and then we had another one, the engine blew up on it or something, and it was we took it one or two times. It was really a nice ride. And the food that they had on the ferry was actually really good. We had hamburgers or something, and we're like, wow, these are actually not bad. So it's a nice trip. Like you can go over in the morning, you have your breakfast on the ferry, and you can eat it outside if you want to, and then if it's a nice day, and then on the way back you can have your dinner. And But yeah, the bar billiards, that was a 8-hour round, a little bit more than an 8-hour round trip to Nova Scotia and back. And the bumper pool, that was in a place called Miramichi, which is that's 4 hours in a different direction. That's north. And I didn't know it was called Miramichi. I was calling it Miramichi. And people were like, what are you talking about? Because that's how you spell it. It's spelled Miramichi, but it's Miramichi. And I got there, and I was driving kind of through this sort of this main street area, and it was like every other business was cannabis. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, why is there so much weed in this town? Like, what's going on? So that area I was in, I had stopped and got gas. I had gotten the bumper pool and I was heading back home. So I stopped at this area and I got gas. And I asked her, I'm like, what the hell's the deal with all the weed stores? Like, why are there 50,000 weed stores in this town? She's like, this whole area is native land. So they can sell this. And like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But it was really funny. It was like weed store, gas station, weed store, deli, weed store, realtor, weed store, something else. All right. I'm sorry. I'm getting behind on chat, so I apologize. I'm rambling. All right. Nick says evening all. Nick, it's like. Salen says, new place looks great. 7, thank you. Yes, I love the new space. It's been a lot of fun, and we're almost done with all of it. So we just have the little bit left to do for our, I guess we can call it the kitchen. Yeah, we'll call it the kitchen. We have a little bit left for the kitchen, and then after the workshop has been just a mess. So after we get the table or the sinks and stuff out of the workshop, get those in the kitchen, then I have to just bring my workbench in from home, and that's slated to go in here, and then we'll get that set up, and then we'll have the workbench and everything set up, and I'll be able to work on machines again finally, and maybe make some videos about it. And then we're gonna stop for a month or two, get kind of settled in, and then the upstairs stuff happens. So we have to put the stairs in so we can get to upstairs, and then we'll put our office up there, and we'll have we'll do some other. We're gonna do we've decided that upstairs is gonna be the VIP lounge. We're gonna have our private office on one side, and the other side is gonna be the VIP lounge, and then I think we're gonna take that's where the air hockey is going to go, and then we'll take some some video game consoles up there, or I'm kind of thinking taking the Kix and Galaga cocktail tables and maybe one of the other cocktail tables, just try to get seating and stuff up there, and then the air hockey we'll make a tabletop for it. So we can cover the air hockey. Now you've got this big table, everybody can sit around it. And that'll be the party room. So when people come in for birthday parties and that kind of thing, we can reserve upstairs for them, and they can just go up there. I think that'll be a good use for it.
I can.
And then if we do that, the back end where we've got the big table, you can see it now, at the very end of Pinball Alley there. We've got a big table there that will go away, and we can put more machines there. And we have the row of pinball that's right in the middle, and bar billiards is at the end of it. That row, when the cocktail tables are at the far end of that row, when those go, we can probably put 3 more pinball machines there, and then we can alter how we've got the video games.
Yeah.
And
so
we could probably fit 5 more pinball, and I don't know how many video. So I want to get those cocktail tables out of here. We get those upstairs. They'll give a place. 2 or 3 people could sit at one of those if we have it up against the wall. So if we have a big party with a bunch of kids, they can all sit around there. So that works. Sorry, I was getting so chat again. All right, Paul says, Seashell, home of the world's only steampunk pinball themed machine. Builder myself. Give it a YouTube look. So, we've talked before. I remember this. I remember talking about that. can't remember the name of the machine that you had altered. Was it like a Black Knight or something? Is that what it was? Jeff says 12-hour day trip once, 6 plus 6 for WW. Never doing that again. What's WW? Outlay says the guy had someone coming to look at it. Boo. Nick asks, has anybody played Dungeons and Dragons yet? I'm going to Pinball at the Beach in February. 3 days in Pinball. All companies will be there. Artists, designers, all new games. Can't wait. I haven't played the Dungeons and Dragons yet. Nick says Stern, Jersey Jack, Spooky, Chicago Gaming. Also, you heard Padretti has Tales of Arabian Nights coming. Same company that did New Funhouse. It's going to be great. Paul says, yes, Black Knight 2000. Yeah, I remember that. I remember seeing that. Yeah. And they changed scenes. This scene was really funny today. It was nothing but colored lights because when I was painting, I accidentally pulled the cable and the camera took a header into the things above up above that's over the washrooms. And so I was just pointing at the drywall ceiling of the washroom. Hey, did you guys see my, we should Camera Safari Adventure Time this. My ridiculous new thing that I made. The disco light thing. Hold on. Let's go look at my crazy disco light. Since we couldn't recreate the disco booth, we actually, I had tried to make where this is at a slant. This is not a 90-degree angle. And we were going to try to recreate the disco booth right here. But then the way that we did the ramp for the washrooms, this ramp, it worked better to have it run down this wall and then we could just move these machines out to here. I was kind of thinking of doing a switchback kind of thing, but it actually takes up more square footage. So this ended up not being a place that we could put the disco booth. So we had all these disco balls. So I was trying to think of something cool to do with them. I love this shadow from them. So we did the disco ball solar system. And I need to get, I have to, the cross things, I need to get them separate. So it looks a little bit, it doesn't look too bad there, I guess. And then the two little ones, I need to get another wire in there to support it so that they're spread out a little bit farther. And then eventually I'll paint those black. I didn't even know if this was going to keep working. I was pretty sure that the motor was going to blow up on it. And then I got another little, there's two pin spots up here now. There's one big one, and then there's a multicolored one that changes. Right now it's blue. So I adjusted it so you have like a little crescent there from it. Thought that was kind of cool. And it leaves different colored things on the wall. So I need to get one more pin spot. And I think what I'll do is I will try, we have power over here that is, I can tap into the power that these are plugged into. So when we turn these on and off, it'll turn the pin spots on and off. But I want to point one, I want to get a really good pin spot up here pointing this way. And then my arcade window will have all the little dots and activity on it. So when people are outside, they'll be able to see that. Because you can see the colored lights on it outside now. So I just want to play around with that more. Eventually these letters are going to go away. And we'll do like the LED neon rope stuff, and we'll spell out arcade that way. And then I have an LED sign that says pinball. It's coming. It'll go in one of those windows. And then we're going to have another one that says espresso coffee or something like that, and it'll go in one of those windows. Probably this right there is an open sign, so we'll probably put the pinball one next to it and then the coffee one after. Maybe maybe those two in the middle. Actually, that would probably look the best. That would look more even. Hopefully they fit in there. They should fit in there. And then I have another neon, like actual neon sign. We have an actual pinball neon sign. And then I have an actual neon sign that's in the back that says espresso or coffee. And it's about the same size as that one. And that will go in the window here somewhere too. When we get the when there's an espresso machine here, that's what's going to happen. Never realized how large that back box is. Which one on? Someone was talking about. I missed it. Where was it? Someone said something about big guns. Are you talking about the back box on big guns? Yeah, it's massive. Yeah, that's Space Invaders. I see a dart game. What happened? We have two back there. Lethal Weapon 3 is offline because it has a power supply problem. It's flaky as hell. I have a new power supply for it, and I actually had that ongoing problem with the display in Royal Rumble. So I'm going to actually yank I think what I've decided I'm going to do, and I have to wait until the workshop's running to do this, I'm going to yank the brand new power supply out of Royal Rumble. I'm going to put its old power supply back, which had failing high voltage. I'm going to put a color DMD in that one, and then the brand new power supply will go into Lethal Weapon. And then I don't have to use my other new power supply. And that should be fine. The other one in the back, which is dark, is Stampede. And that one just showed up at the door one day. Some guy called me and said, I bought a pinball machine, and this guy told me it worked, but it doesn't seem to be working. Do you work on the pinball machines? And I said, I don't work on other people's pinball machines. I just don't have space or time for it or anything. And he's like, well, I've got it. Hold on just a second. I'm going to change to this scene, and you'll know why in a minute. Oh, sugar babies.
So I figured I'd try.
Hey, you never had these?
No.
Oh, they're really good.
Are they really sweet?
Oh yeah, there's like a hard kind of. It's not like a hard, crispy candy shell, but it's a harder shell, and then the inside is kind of like a chewy Rolo kind of thing.
Okay,
but
so
not quite. Yeah, they're good. All right, 8:55.
Please.
Go ahead. You're good to go.
Thank you.
Thanks. Oh yeah. So he says well yeah I don't know what's going on with it. I've got it on my trailer. I can bring it to you, and maybe you could just look at it real quick. Sure, why not? And then the funny thing is we had a couple that came in, and they said it was the weirdest thing. We were going to play pinball, and this guy, we passed him, and he's just got a pinball machine on the back of his trailer. I'll bet that's the guy. And sure enough, 10 minutes later, this guy shows up, and he just had the whole machine was just on legs, back box up, facing the back glass was facing forward, which I'm surprised it survived at all, because he said that he drove from Tignish, which is the very, very tip of the east side of the island, so that's like 2-something hours away. And he, like, how it didn't break, I have no idea. And it was super, super cold out and everything. I did plug it in, and it had some problems starting. But, and no, I didn't plug it in, but I manually tried to move like the score reels and stuff, and they just didn't move at all. But it occurred to me later that it's possible just like they've been greased and it was out in sub-zero weather. And driving down the street with and there's no back to the back box, right? So it's just like cold, super cold air. It's just like solidified any kind of grease or oil or anything like that. But it's possible it does work. The score motor, when I manually turned that, it didn't feel seized or it didn't seem like I had a problem, but it needs a bit of work. Yeah, so we looked at it and I told them that I just said, yeah, this thing needs a lot of work. There was some sort of rodent had made a nest in one of the score reels. It doesn't look like anything was damaged, and the back glass has a little bit of flaking. Not terrible, not great, but and then there's a few things like some switches, like one of the flipper switches was like falling apart. A couple other things like that. Who knows what else is wrong with it, but. I said, yeah, it's a lot to get going on sort of this old, not very interesting machine, but I offered him $300 for it, and he said that he paid $350 for it, and so I offered him that. If I remember, I offered him that, but since he drove to Tignish and back and with the gas and everything, I offered him $400, and he just wouldn't do it. So he was actually going to just take it home and plug it in and have it as a fun centerpiece because it lights up. And so then I offered him $450 and he took $450. So now whether or not I can get it going or whether it's worth getting it going, I don't know. It's possible that when I really dig into it and open it up, it could just be a mess. So playfield's not too bad, so it's hard for me on something like that where the playfield isn't too bad, but the backlash is a little trash, and it's Stampede, right? So it's not like there's not a lot going on with that game that's super, super interesting. I would hate to do it, but it's possible that it ends up being a cabinet for a virtual machine. If it's completely hooped inside, because I haven't opened up the playfield really. I opened it up and gave it a quick peek, but I haven't really dug into it. But if it had a rodent's nest in it, there could be more rodent activity inside it. I didn't notice it, but there could be, and if it is, and the wires are all chewed up and it's all nasty and gross, then I'll probably gut it. I don't know. I feel bad doing it. I don't like doing that, but yeah. Okay, so let's see. There's Daryl. Hey Daryl, guess what I got? Guess what I got today? Hold on, you're gonna love this. I saw them at the wholesale place that I went to, and I thought, you know what? It's a little bit bigger than stuff that we normally carry, and when I decided to get them, I thought of you. Tim Tams. We got a pretty good deal on them too. Nick says you have plenty of wall space for leaderboards. Any tournaments? Nope and nope. Don't. Spike says, I like those cold, frothy, chocolatey espresso drinks. I can make those. What's the little screen by checkout playing Pac-Man? Oh, that thing. That's a, let me see it if I change to this scene. Yeah, not really. You can't really see it. Let's camera Safari and look at it. It's called like a Pixu or something like that. This thing. It's cute, huh? It's got a little app, and you can load up a whole bunch of different scenes onto it. That's the time. Is that the right time? I don't. That's not the right time. Little Pong thing. I just found these little animations, and then I built this little slideshow just for fun. And then there's a bit of text or something that says other stuff somewhere. I wish that you could turn the time off. That's it's kind of a drag. I think it does have a thing where you can like sync it, and it'll go out and sniff how many YouTube subscribers you have, and you can do stuff like that. I don't have any use for it. Like I wouldn't do something like that. I think that eventually it will show it. There's a thing that talks about like the pricing. Nope, I guess that's, well, let's give it a second. There's a bunch of different scenes, and you can do different things with them. And it's called, let me look, it's called, I think it's called like a Pixu. I'll look it up here in a second. Yeah, so I think that's, I do have another scene that talks about like, you pay for a $14.95 for an hour, 5 cents more for 2 hours kind of thingy, whatever. I did not buy it, it was a gift to me. Let's see if we can figure it out. Pixu? Yeah, Pixu. And this is the first one that they came out with. Divoom Pixu, 16 by 16 pixel. And then they have another one, the 64. So it's higher resolution, so you can do. Yeah, here's the yeah, you load your back. Yeah, Chris, who had said it before. Oh, weird. Can you guys hear that? I think it's this thing. Yeah. This stupid website was making the music. Spike says, where'd Sophia go? You know we only tune in for dames, right? Yeah, nobody wants to see me. I can put a wig on. She has to do some job interviews for her job. She interviews people for her job, for jobs. That doesn't make any sense. She is not interviewing for a job. Other people are interviewing for a job, and she is running the interview. That's the way it goes. They're hiring. She works for the government, and they're hiring because there was an election, so there's a whole bunch of new MPs and a bunch of other stuff. So they're hiring a whole bunch of new people for all these new offices that are being set up, and a bunch of things shifted around or whatever. Uh-oh, what's this? YouTube is not receiving something. Am I functioning? I have an error on the screen that says YouTube was not receiving my stream. So hopefully it's still working. Don't know. It says it's excellent now. Yeah. So she works kind of like an HR type position. So she's interviewing candidates and hiring candidates and doing all of this stuff. So that's right now, but it's all BC stuff in BC. So it's not so late there. You seem normal, yeah. Seem normal-ish. There you go. Nice save. Yeah. So the next, I think for the next 3 weeks or something, she's going to have to be doing a bunch of hiring and interviews and getting people set up in new offices and all this other stuff, and then she'll be able to join us again. She'll be able to leave work earlier on Fridays to partake in this nonsense. So it's a little interesting in the winter here how you think on Friday nights we would get kind of busy because there's nothing, but it's Saturday nights and Sundays that are our busy time now. We did really good business last Saturday and last Sunday, but Fridays are still a little slow for some reason. It'll pick up in the spring and everything, but you would think that, I mean, I guess it's people after work, they're just like, I'm just going to go home and put my feet up. And it is snowing. It was snowing earlier. Is it still snowing? It does not look like it's still snowing, but it was snowing. Nothing new was sticking to the ground or anything. I was out running around town doing some errands and getting my sheet metal for the kitchen area, getting that ordered and talking to those guys. And then I stopped and picked up some new products and stuff. But, and it was snowing then, but nothing was sticking to the roads. But yeah. Spike says, I need a job. Can I get paid in syrup? We're the wrong province for that. You have to go to I think where do they make where are the syrup mines? I think they probably have them in Nova Scotia and New Brunswick. And yeah, I don't think so much in BC. Definitely not Alberta. But probably everything east of the prairies probably have the syrup. That's where you find the syrup mines. What else did we get? We getting something else. The Kit Kat clocks we got in, and I'm really hoping we can wholesale those because you just don't see those around very often. They came out in the 60s, and I remember seeing them in a couple of kitchens. Like someone's mom had one in their kitchen, and like a friend's mom had them, and I just thought that they were really cool, and I always wanted one. I just never got one, and so then I found a distributor that had some that weren't too terribly expensive, and so I got a handful of them in to try them out, and then I registered to be a wholesaler for them, so hopefully we'll be able to do that. And I did that with someone, I did another wholesale with someone else too. Who was that? We're the wholesaler for the coffee beans now, so we have a wholesale account with them. I'll have to see if we can exclusive with them on the island because I was talking to someone else and they seemed interested in being a wholesaler for this coffee company. But I want to do it. With my idea, damn it. Who else was it though? It was another company that I signed up for. I don't remember what product it was. It was something cool. That's all. Oh, I got rubber chickens. That's what I got in. I got 2 sizes of rubber chickens now, because one size just isn't enough. Damn it. Um, I want to get a whole bunch of novelty crap like rubber chickens, and we'll have just one little area that just is all of that stuff. Like I was saying the other day that I never thought I would say these words, but the words were, I need a really good line on a source for fake dog poop. I never thought I would say those words, but here I am saying them again. Fake dog poop. I want the joke gum where you take the stick and it shocks you or something. The little joy buzzers where you put it, you shake someone's hand, they go zzz. The whoopee cushions. Just all of that hokey, jokey stuff that I would love to get a bag of laughs. Do you remember those? There was like a little, they probably still make them. Back in the day, back in the 70s and early 80s, it was a canvas bag with a smile on it, said bag of laughs or something like that. Inside was actually a little record player, and it played a little record of just some guy laughing. And so you hit the little button and it would run for a certain amount of time, and it would just sit and laugh and laugh and laugh. I would love to get something like that in. I did have a lead on useless boxes, but the company was sold out, and I could get them in for fairly cheap. They weren't too bad. That's the useless box. It's a little box. It's about this size, right? And it has a button on it, and you flip the switch, or it's not a button, it's a switch. You flip the switch, and a little hatch opens up, and this little armature comes out, and it turns the switch off. That's all it does. So you turn the switch on, and it turns itself off. And I just think they're hilarious. And I've never had one, so I want one. And just like the Kit Kat clock, I'll get it, I'll bring it in here, and then I can say I've had one. And the Kit Kat clock will probably eventually make it to our house. I want a red one, I think, though. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Can't decide. But a ball pit full of rubber chickens. That would be pretty awesome. I was driving Sophia nuts because we got the box of them in, and so it's just this big box full of rubber chickens. And I was laying them out on the counter, and I had like 6 or 8 of them lined up. And I was playing chicken marimbas, like doot 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 doot. It was clock, clock, clock. And she's on the other side of the table there. It was before we were open. She was working, and she was just giving me that look that like, what the fuck are you doing, child? And I kept playing with chickens. That was fun. Daryl, did you see what I held up earlier? Did you notice that? I don't know if she's going to be able to come out. If Sophia will be coming, because I think that she's going. I think her interview sessions are going until. It's 9 o'clock here right now, and I think that she said that it's going to be going until 10 here, 10 o'clock our time. So, one thing I did get. Daryl says, I guess I missed it. Okay, pay attention now. I got these. As I was saying, I went to a place where we get stuff from, and they had these, and I thought I would get them and try them, and I thought specifically of you when I got them. You ready? Yep. Hey, there's Reset. Hey, Reset, how's it going? Yep, Daryl likes his Tim Tams. They were really, God, that was back, when was that? Was that like 98 or 99 or something like that? I mean, that was old Amcast days, radio days, and we'd talk about Tim Tams, and there was like, I was living, I was no longer in Seaside. I had moved to Portland at that point, I think, at that point. And I looked I had never had them. You were talking about them, and I had never had them. And I had dug around a whole bunch of, there was one place in Portland that sold them, and I had to go down. You couldn't get them in stores or anything. Now you find them in stores and stuff, but yeah, there was one place at this Australian import store, and I found out about him. I called him, do you have Tim Tams? Like, yeah, I got Tim Tams. So I went down and I got a bunch of them, yeah. Isn't that what they call the monkey on Speed Racer? Tim Tam. No, that's Chim Chim. Chim Chim is the monkey. And monkeys aren't pets. It's a chimp. Chimps aren't pets. Speed should know that. Speed was supposed to be a good guy, but he should know that. Probably Chim Chim spent the rest of his days in some little cage in some Faco rehabilitation thing, and was bred so it made other baby chimps. Very sad. Very sad. I don't know if you can hear the background music. It's Russian Unicorn. I should turn it down a bit. So the other thing that I ordered last week, dark chocolate Tim Tams. Yes, those are good. Last week we were talking about wireless cameras, and I found a couple. One of them I actually had pulled up on screen, and we were looking at it and talking about it, whatever. Reset says, unless you can give them enough faces to rip off, it's just not right to keep them in captivity. That's all I'm saying, right? So there, I found a wireless webcam. It was one we were looking at it last live stream, and some of the reviews said basically it worked fine, but before you use it, you had to restart your computer. It has a little dongle, a little USB dongle that you plug in, and that's what it connects directly to. And it looks like it's just a little camera that's the size of like one of those little Weiss cams or something. I would really like to have a wireless camera here so I can use my tablet, which is currently this scene. That's my tablet. That's a tablet. And so we can use this for one, pointing at something. We can go play a game. We can set this wireless camera or the tablet pointing at the game, and then the other one pointing at us so you can see us on screen. So that would be, I ordered that camera. It was about $200 Canadian. But the company pays for it, so what do I care? So I should have that next week, but I won't be here next week. So maybe I'll play around with it a little bit. And Reset says, I just like saying dongle. Dongle's a fantastic word. I don't know who came up with that for computer little things, but yeah, dongles. Is dongle, was it another word, like was it used for anything else before computer shit? Let's research that, shall we? Dongle. Wikipedia entry for dongle is a small piece of computer hardware that connects to a port on another device to provide it additional functionality or to enable a pass-through to such device that adds functionality. In computing, the term was initially synonymous with computer protection dongles. Yeah, so I guess just scanning through this, it wasn't a word that was reused. It was something specifically Hey, Luke, how's it going? Um, Specifically for computers and stuff. So that's pretty cool. Daryl says dongle is a copy protection device, but they use dongle for other things, right? So like the this wireless keyboard and mouse has a little USB receiver that plugs in, and they call that a dongle, right? How are you doing, Luke? Spike says everyone's saying dongle today in honor of Michelle Obama's birthday. How sweet! What? I don't even get that. You see that picture that they were in that Mr. Obama posted a picture of them at some table with a bunch of wine in the background, and all the wine in the background is like $20,000 a bottle type wine. Yeah. Yeah, so we'll get the camera in, I'll play around with it, and hopefully it's good enough. I do worry that, because I have 3 hardwire USB cameras into this computer right now by USB, and then this audio interface, which is the wireless microphones. So if we use the wireless one, I may actually have to pull one of these wired ones. We'll see if it has enough bandwidth. I don't know. I think that machine has 3 USB headers on it. There's 2 in the back, but the one in the front might actually be its own USB header. Can I look? Let me see. That may be low. I don't remember. But we'll try it. We'll see. Let's see. Manage. Device manager. Universal. It says there's 3 USB, super speed USB hubs. USB root hub. There's 3 USB root hubs. One of them is USB 3. Okay, so I know I have 3 cameras across 2 of those because of the way that they're blocked in the back. So we might be able to do all cameras running at once, which would be awesome. Yeah, and then we can go and play games, and like on days like this where it's a little bit slower or something, and maybe when Sophia is available, we can go, hey, we'll go play something, and then we can just take a tripod out and off we go. That'd be pretty cool. I still need to make a video on how to play bar billiards. But, you know, I did some research on that. I think we're the only place in Canada that has a public bar billiards table, which is pretty cool. I found 4 in the States. It's a weird thing to search for. It's really hard to search for because even if you quote it and put it in as like quote bar billiards unquote, and put that in, it still will find here is a bar you can play billiards, right? But there were about 4 maybe 5 places in the States that have a bar billiards table. That's all that I could find. There was an old thread that I had discovered on some billiards forum, and they were talking about it. It was the thread was a few years old, but they were talking about it, and there was like, I think they had 4 or 5 locations. One of the locations that they mentioned, I went and looked at their website, and they didn't list it anymore, so maybe they got rid of it or something. But that's pretty cool that we might be the only place in Canada that has one, and people have really been getting into it. So we thought there was a couple in here earlier, and they were actually heading out the door, and they said next time we come back in, their time was up, and they were like, next time we come back in, we want to try this other one. I was like, no, you got to try it now. If you've got nowhere to go, you can stay late, and I'll teach you. And they played it and had a great time. They thought it was awesome. So it's One of the things I really like about it is that it has some really good ups and downs. So you're shooting, collecting points, and as long as you are making more points, you keep shooting. As long as you're sinking balls in the holes, you keep shooting. And you get yourself into a situation where maybe there's one ball left on the table that you have to shoot for, and it's right behind one of the Skittles, and it's damn near impossible to hit. So you've got 400 or 500 points running, and then you knock down the Skittle, and that's it. You lose all those points. So there's a lot of like kind of ups and downs and different strategies that you could try. Like if you get to that point, I was playing a game with Sophia, and all the balls were on the table. So 8 balls on the table, 7 balls on the table, and I'm shooting 1. And there were a lot of really good shots, and it was just like plunk, 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 knocking balls in left and right. And I probably had like 6 shots where I was just earning points. I had, 400 points running. And then there was one ball kind of in the back. I'm like, I'm just going to tap this ball and lock those points in. I tapped the ball, but I knocked one in as well. It's like crap. So then I had to shoot at another one, just tried to tap it. I knocked that one in. So I'm gaining more points, but I'm having less and less options on how to lock those points down. And then at the end of it, there was nothing left for me to really shoot at. There was like one that was in a really shit location, and I don't remember if I knocked the Skittle down or if I completely missed it or if I shot that ball directly in the hole or whatever I did, but it just didn't pan out for me. That's Junkie XL, baby. What's Junkie XL? Is that the music guy? Isn't that's the guy, he does soundtracks and stuff, right? Junkie XL. If that's who you're talking about, I have a couple of his synth.com modular synthesizer modules. I bought 4 from him, I think. He had a musical instrument interface that I bought from him. I think a little mixer and then a couple of filters. I don't remember now. They're marked. Which one say? I thought it was kind of cool because he's got an amazing modular synthesizer, of course, because he's got a shit ton of money. So let's see if we can find it. Whilst we're talking about that, I won't play the video because I don't need to. Look at that thing. Isn't that crazy? So he built this big massive thing, and I think at one point he just decided it was great. Oh, there goes Daryl. See you later. Yeah, so I think he built this giant synth.com modular thing. And then, how old is this video? 7 years ago. And so I think at one point he was like, yeah, I don't use all of this. So he sold off some of them. So some of the ones in this picture are probably the ones that are in my modular rack right now. So well, let me go here. Luke says he's Dutch. Is he? I didn't know that. Yeah. I actually never talked to him directly. Well, wait a sec. You guys talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to wait a second until these guys are done shopping. It's kind of weird for me to be standing here talking, facing them now. Right? Did you try sugar babies yet?
I have not tried
No?
the sugar babies yet. I tried the candy dot stuff. They're good.
That was when I was a kid. We used to get those. That was my movie theater candy when I was a kid.
Yeah. What would they come? Their caramel covered candy?
Or they're, yeah, a hard shell. So, like soft.
Yeah, sort of a toffee caramel, sort of chewy sort of thing. Yeah, yeah, they're good.
Junior.
Junior mints? Or,
I was thinking there's another one kind of like junior mints. Milk duds.
We had Milk Duds.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if we still have them over there or not,
Sugar
but
babies.
yeah, they're a little different than that. But yeah.
Okay. Anything else you want to grab on?
what do I do it like here? Yeah.
Throw it on that same card as earlier.
And one sticker / button, $5.60.
So, credit.
Go ahead.
Or,
Oh, that's right.
Swipe, sorry. Christmas present.
I don't know which way it's supposed to go. That worked.
Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah.
You want to start your punch card?
Yeah.
All right. Two. There you go.
Sell a Cabbage Patch Kids or Garbage Pals tarot deck?
Garbage Pail Kids Tarot deck. Yeah, it's as awesome as it sounds. We one of our distributors had one, and we thought it was hilarious, so we brought in 3 or 4 of them, and kept one for ourselves. And then not too long after that, we were able to get the cards in. So we got the cards in, and we sold out of all of them, so we ordered more in. But
Oh,
yeah.
that's nice. That's when you know something's good if they sell like hotcakes.
Not super fast, but I mean it took a few months to sell. But it was one of those things that they're unique enough that when people see them, they lose their mind. Or like we just got these clocks in, right? And these they came out in the '60s, and then they kind of fell out of favor for a while, but people kind of remember them, and yeah, it's one of those things. So yeah, and,
I'm glad it doesn't have that classic like tick-tock noise.
yeah.
We all set?
All set.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. See you next time. I'm gonna go this one. Look, we're empty. Nobody's here. How unusual. Very strange. I remembered who it was that we did the. The wholesale company. There's a company called Cove. They're out of Halifax, and they do sugar-free drinks. We can get them from a few locations here, but our price margin is shit. It's terrible. And we can only get some flavors, and these guys make like all kinds. Like they have probably 20 or 30 different flavors and stuff. We get them in here, we put them in there, and they sell like hotcakes. Like they sell really, really well. So we sent them a thing that says we have a hard time getting your stuff here on the island. and when we can get it, we can't get very many flavors. So we want to be able to wholesale for them and bring in all of their flavors and stuff, because it's really cool when you do that. Like we have the Pop Shop brand. We have all flavors of Pop Shop that they offer, and we're like the only place in the island that has that. A lot of places have they have like 4 or 5 of their flavors, but they don't have all of them. There's 10 or 12 of them or something like that. And so when people come in and they see all of the options, they just lose their mind, right? Like there's a couple people that like the pineapple Pop Shop, and you don't usually see that. And so he comes in, he always gets one. So yeah, so Cove Soda is one that we hopefully we'll be able to wholesale with them and do the same thing. We're gonna need another drink fridge. Actually, we just need another shelf. We have the new double door drink fridge, and it's got it has space. We could actually add. Normally, there's like 4 shelves outside, so you have 4 shelves plus the bottom. It's 2 doors. We have 7 shelves, so we're missing a shelf, a normal shelf. But we could, because the way that pop cans are, we could actually do, if we find a place to get that shelf, I'm going to order 2 more shelves. So we'll have 3 shelves. We'll order 3 shelves, because we can actually put a bunch more pop cans in there. And I would like to get the rails. Like they have rails it's easier to load sodas up, because they sit in little aisles and you can just shove them straight back from the front. I don't have any of those for my drink fridges, and I would like to get those. And then we got the newer drink fridge. Not the last one we bought, the one that we bought, the double door one we got before. It's fine, but I would like one more like the one we just bought, because there's more room in it. So they're both basically the same size. The other one's a little bit smaller. You can't see it, doesn't matter. But yeah. All right, let me go back to chat, because I forgot about that. If you put a rat in water, it drowns in an hour. If you reach in after 15 minutes and take the bread out and put it back in the water, he'll swim for 24 hours before he drowns. Mike says, seems legit. Risa says, ew, what's on the Neo Geo? Is that Puzzle Bobble? Yes, it is. Puzzle Bobble. So there's a story behind that. In March or so, February or March of last year, Sophia's mom got sick, and Sophia had to go to BC, and she was there for a long time while her taking care of her mom. Her mom finally just died, but not just died, but her mom finally she got really sick really fast, cancer, a bunch of other stuff, and there was like a brief moment where it felt like she was getting better, and then just straight. So the nice thing is that she wasn't really sick and lingered on for years, right? It's sort of, but it's hard to deal with that. Like 1 minute, every 1 minute your mom's fine, and then the next minute, like, oh, mom's a little sick, and oh, mom's dead, right? Like it's hard to deal with. But so she was there for a few months, and while that whole thing was playing out. So when Sophia was a kid, they would go to the laundromat to do the laundry, and there were a couple video games in there. One of them was Puzzle Bobble, or Bust a Move, or whatever you want to call it. I think this one is actually called Bust a Move, but it's Bubble Bobble, right? Puzzle Bobble, Puzzle Bubble. I don't know. But it was her game. She loved it. So a friend of mine, about 6 months earlier from this time, he had the Neo Geo, and it's a Neo Geo board. It's got some of the Neo Geo artwork, but I don't know what the cabinet is. It's not a proper Neo Geo cabinet, but but it was in pretty good shape. Monitor's fine and everything. I might pull that monitor out. No, I'll leave that monitor in. Don't listen to me. What was it? Oh yeah. So he had this thing, and he wasn't asking that much for it, but I had passed at the moment. I had said, Olivia, I'm not sure, maybe, but not right now. Maybe in a month or two if you still have it. So when she left, when she went and had to deal with all this bullshit, and was having a miserable time, I went back to my friend and I said, do you still have that Neo Geo? And he said, yeah. And it had, I don't remember what game it had in it, but I went and looked at it. It was fine. I bought it. I brought it here. I brought it to the arcade. And then I searched out the cartridge for it. And I found it in the States for not too terribly bad. Had that set up. So that was like my, just to cheer her up kind of thing. So, and I actually like the game. I think it's fun. Well, I don't remember the game. What was the game that was in it? I don't have I haven't put the little, it's got a little window in it to, it says Neo Geo now featuring, and then there's a little window that you put your thing in. It's Fatal Fury. That's the other cartridge I have for it. But this is just a single cartridge one. And I actually don't know a whole lot about the Neo Geos. Friend of mine has an arcade, and so before I bought this, I asked him. It's the guy who owns he owns an arcade called Retro Volt in California. Cool place, really cool place. We'll look at it here in a second. I'll show you because the inside is amazing. So I reached out to him and I just said, hey, I don't know much about these. What do you think? And he said if you're gonna get a Neo Geo for an arcade, get the single one, or I think the 2 cartridge ones. Don't get the 4 cartridge one because that's a lot of solder points that have problems. And if I remember, I think he said that he had a 4 cartridge one, and he was always having problems with it, and so he swapped it out for a single or a double cartridge one, and it's been running perfectly fine. So this was this is a single cartridge, and I'm fine with that. I don't need multiple ones, but let's see. Well, let's go back up. Bubble Bobble, I'll get it eventually close enough. Junior Mints and Popcorn. 7 should sell hats. We have Pinballorama hats, but we don't have the ones with the new logo. I will probably bring in those for the summer because swag sells. People come to the island. If you have the logo, 7's Pinballorama, and it says Prince Edward Island on it, we'll sell it. We had shirts that didn't say Prince Edward Island, and we still have those shirts. The shirts that said Prince Edward Island, those are all gone. So, yeah. Reset says, what exactly is a hot cake? It's a cake that's hotter than warm. Yeah. Cove Sota. Cove. C-O-V-E. Oh, I'm out of the one that sells like hotcakes. This is their lime. Cove Soda. Yeah. And it's sugar-free. And it has what's the filtered water and ethanol. I don't know what that is, but I think that must be their sweetener. This one has lemon juice concentrate, citric acid, lemon lime flavor, Himalayan salt, fancy, stevia extract. I can't drink these because it's got stevia. And I taste stevia and I do not like the taste of it. Recess says it's never easy, but at least you didn't suffer prolonged. Well, that's the thing. That was the hard part about when someone gets sick and they're elderly or older or something, and it's the worst is just having it drag on forever, and especially if they're uncomfortable, right? Then it's just like, what the fuck do you do, right? Risa says, my local laundromat had a Barth. How lucky was I? Risa says, Big Red, we call them Big Reds in the state. Big Red. Spike says, they have laundromats in Kentucky. Fatal Fury was the name of Spike's Sid Vicious cover band. What song did Sid Vicious? Sid Vicious didn't have his own songs. 4 slots are reliable. It's a 6 slot motherboard that's a nightmare. They were made at the tail end of SNK's lifespan. They weren't put together as well or up to spec. The 6 ones. Hey, he was just saying that it was like let's look up Retro Revolt because this place is gorgeous. We'll have pictures here. So the funny thing, well, it's not really funny. It's the thing about his space. He had found, we were both looking for a location at the same time. We actually met through Reddit, if I remember. And we were working on machines and stuff at the same time, and he found my videos, I think. There's no pictures, no good pictures. Maybe in the games? Let me Google picture this and see if I can get something a little bit better to show you what the inside looks like. Here we go. Oh, we're going to go to his Facebook page. Screw you. There you go. So he found the location, and he had a guy come in and do a mural, and got all set up in this space, and then I think he opened, but only for a short time. Something happened with that space, and he had to move. And it really sucked because he had spent a lot of time and money on this space already. So then he got moved to his current location. But it's just these. So he had someone else come in and do this logo for him, and the whole thing is done up. So this. Oh, fuck you, Facebook. Let's see if I can find it. He has on his wall. Here's another shot. Oh, here we go. It's a little article about it. That's the front. And then he's got this kind of cool mural going above his pinball machine. So this is his front counter. And you come in just to the left of this. And then there's another shot with rows of games and stuff. You can kind of see it here. So I don't know, can you guys see where my mouse is? In this picture, there's what looks like a big monitor kind of off to the right here. So on that wall right there, he has painted, they painted basically an arcade cabinet, and then the screen is just white, and he uses a projector, and he projects off of one of the machines that are right there. And so you can actually see someone playing it on the projector on that. I thought that was a really clever idea. That was really cool. And this is just gorgeous, right? It just looks great. Let's see if there's a better shot of it. Yeah, so that's Retro Bowl, and it was really cool to like we since we were both kind of doing the same thing, and we have a lot of the same machines. It's kind of cool to be able to bounce ideas and stuff off of each other and whatever, and I can. Like he's got the same Terminator. When I was having problems with the gun, I was able to ask him a couple questions about what has he got going on his side, kind of thing. And we went down. I don't want to say when I was and that I've stopped. I am working on a documentary about idiots like me who had a collection of machines and then they opened an arcade, or they just ended up getting a huge collection of machines, and it's all about what inspired them to do it, to buy the machines and open up the arcade and all of that. And it's sort of comparing my story with their stories. And I started it before I had a space to open. In fact, I don't even know when I started doing that. I don't even know if I had planned to open at that point. I can't remember when I first started it. And I went around and I interviewed a bunch of people. And then we moved here, and my plan was I was going to put it together. I was going to edit together after we ended up here. But then one thing after another, and then COVID hit, and I thought, it would be a good idea to revisit a lot of these people after COVID and see how they fared and how they dealt with that. But we went around to a lot of locations and interviewed a bunch of people, and so we had actually gone down to California to interview Bob at Retrovolt. So we got some inside shots of that location and hung out with him, and yeah, that was a good trip. And Sophia had never been to Disneyland, so we went to Disneyland, and I never want to go there again. I did not like it at all. So yeah. Anyway, I was going to say something else. What was I going to say? What was I going to talk about? I forget. Yeah, totally slipped out of my mind where I was going with that. The other thing about the documentary is I was going to follow up with a bunch of people how they fared during during COVID, and they're back open again and stuff. And like I talked to the guys that I had interviewed, a couple people that are involved in the Seattle Tacoma Pinball Show that's down there, Pacific Pinball and Video Arcade Show, I think it's called. I don't remember, something like that. And I had filmed the setup of that and talked to a bunch of people there about like not crazy arcade and pinball enthusiasts. It's just people who went to the show, talking to them about it, and got some really good interviews there. I do want to keep putting that together. But one of the things we did a little part where I'm talking about like how I sort of fell into collecting machines and all of that other stuff. And one of the things that I said in it was when I was a kid, when the movie Tron came out, a bunch of my friends we were all going to the arcades at the time, and we were into video games and stuff. And a lot of my friends were like, I want to be Tron, like, I'm Tron. And I'm like, fuck that, I want to be Flynn, right? And my dream when I was like 10 was to have an arcade that had my apartment in the top, and the window looks down over the arcade, right? Like, that's what I wanted. I thought that was really cool. And then by the time I was like 15, I completely forgot about that. Then I discovered music and girls, and then the whole arcade thing went out the window, right? I completely forgot about it. And then, so one of the first places that I looked at that we almost got, if the real estate agent had been a little bit more on the ball, we looked at this location that had ceilings this high. It had in the back of the space, they had the washrooms and they had a kitchen and some other stuff. And so you can get up above that, like it was finished and they were using it for storage. But there was enough space where we could have set up the office and everything in a window and you could look down on the arcade. And I really wanted that space just for that one reason. And then the real estate agent didn't want to rent to us for whatever reason, but she didn't want to tell us why. And so she just drug her feet and let us slip away. And then COVID hit. So we lucked out there. Like that would have killed us, right? So then we found the other space, and that was good enough. Let us open and everything. And then we got moved into this space, and we're going to be able to have, it's going to be a little bit different, like right up above. I will show you. So the original, am I on? Yep, all right. So the original plan, this, we have to build the stairs. The stairs, this will be a little hallway that'll go into the stairs. That goes into the workshop. There's gonna be a wall right about here that goes straight back. So you'll go up the stairs here. Right there, the idea was that we were gonna put a bar top there. And so you could sit at this little window thingy and let me see if I can get a little bit better. It's actually open right there. This wall goes all the way up to the ceiling. So it's actually open right here. The original plan was you would go up this, at the top there'd be a little landing, and then you would just have this little space here that you could hang out. There'd be a couple of chairs there, you could sit and you could look down. Here, window, that would be our office. Back here upstairs, that would just be storage, and there'd be a wall here up at the top so that people who were up in this area can't get into this upstairs space. So that was the original idea. What we're doing now is that probably still a window. This whole area from here over will be one open room with the stairs coming up in the middle or on the side there. And then that's going to be the VIP lounge where there's going to be all the seating and stuff like that. And that people can reserve that, and that's when they have a party, they can go up there. Up here in this space will be, get over here where it's not light, can't really tell. But up here, there's a railing barrier that's right here that you can't, it's hard to tell. And then it's just all open. There will be our office and storage and a bunch of other stuff will just all be basically from this point over that whole area. So there will be a window and everything there that you can look down on the space. So where the story is going, to make a long story longer, that satisfies my my little kid fantasy of being Flynn, having an arcade, and having a window that looks down onto the arcade, right? So we will do, when we get that set up, I want to close this upstairs space so that it's not so noisy when you're up in the office, because if Sophia comes into work, like right now, she's back behind there and it's a little bit quieter back there, but it would be nice to have a place that's all closed off and it's a little bit quieter so you can go up there and whatever. There have been a couple times where we were both in at the other arcade and like I ate something or I just felt like complete shit and like I got a cold or I got a flu or something, I just felt horrible. But I can't go home because we both came in with the car. So I put a pillow on the hard floor in the back and blanket and like slept back there on the hard floor and stuff. So, but it was loud, right? And I'm laying on the floor and it was just generally a suck thing to have to do. So upstairs we'll have the office space and I want to have either a couch or some sort of a cot that we could bring out or something, because it's entirely possible that one or both of us will be here one night and there's a huge dump of snow and we can't get home. So you might as well have a place that we can like hang out and it'd be fine. So that's the idea for up there. But if it was all sealed off, if it's a time where one of us isn't feeling good or something like that, or it's quiet enough that you'd be able to sleep. So that's the plan. But I would really like to have that at the end of the documentary. The documentary, I don't want it to be about me, but I'm making it, and it's sort of like, this is what I fell into, and this is sort of my. I ended up going down this path and having this adventure of collecting machines and opening the arcade. Let's talk to other people that have done that, and I would like to end it with. Like at the start, it talks. The idea is that there's a voiceover that talks about like how I fell into it a little bit, and then at the end, I'd like to repeat that, where I talk about the window in Flynn's arcade from the movie Tron, and then be able to show that here. Like, I think that would be really kind of a fun way to end it, right? Like, hey, look, I pulled it off. It's not my apartment, but that's good enough. And later, we've talked about it. We've talked about buying a piece of property and building something. So if in 5 years, if we're still doing well in this space or with this business, right? We might actually look into buying a place that is zoned commercially and building a big, huge warehouse kind of space and putting an apartment upstairs and actually doing that. I mean, it depends on the property we get, but if this is what you do for a living, to me, it makes sense. Like, I mean, I love my house and all that, and I like being kind of away and tucked out in the woods and having foxes play in my front yard kind of thing. It's awesome. But that's overhead that I have to maintain, right? So if I had a space that the one section of the property is the arcade and the amusement stuff and the candy store and maybe a restaurant, who knows what else I'll end up doing it by that time. And then the back, I live in the back, I'm okay with that. So we'll have to work the desk and everything else kind of around all of this weird stuff. There's one, it's like I think it's 1/2-inch conduit, like electrical conduit. It kind of goes along the ceiling and then arches down and goes straight down into the floor, and it's for the smoke detector that's in the front here. But it's like right in the middle of this space, like it's right in the way of everything. So we'll either, depending on, I mean, maybe I could set up a desk and everything and that's not really in the way, we can work around it. Either that or I'm gonna have to move it. So I'm gonna try to figure out a way to work around it. Because we'll have to put some shelves up there. I'll have a big desk and some filing cabinets. So we might be able to like put a filing cabinet on either side of it, and then it'll work. I don't know. We'll figure it out. And yeah, and it would be nice to be able to. We'll have shelves up there so we can have all of our inventory up there, and extra stuff from just anything that I need to store. I want to have a lot of storage space up there because I don't want my workshop to be cluttered, but I'm going to have like boards and all kinds of other stuff. Spike says, did someone start up a warp engine? That noise is the unattractive attract mode of Comet. It does it twice or 3 times a day. I like the other attract things where it like quacks and does other little things, but then it does that ridiculous thing, and you can't turn off just that. It's like turn off attract altogether, and miss out on the quacks and stuff that it does. But I just deal with it. I've gotten used to it now. I don't even hear it anymore. Yeah, so we'll figure out upstairs. That'll be fun. And but that's later. I need to actually to start on upstairs. I need to hire someone to cut stair stringers for me because I can't cut them. I have tried to cut stair stringers and I always screw them up. It's just something about, it's like doing algebra in your head. Some people can do it, other people can't. I'm fine with other construction stuff. Like I could probably build a 1-story house by myself and draw it all up, and it would be fine. And the plans, like I've never gone to school for it, but I understand the concepts and all of this, and I can draw it up, and I structurally know how to put it all together. I could probably do that, as long as there's not a second story, because I can't cut the damn stringers to make stairs, right? So I need to hire someone to cut those stringers for me. I need 3 of them, and once we do that, then I can start working on upstairs stuff. But I do want to get the. Sorry, I'm trying to close my camera Safari thing on my phone. I have to get my workshop going first because I've got a couple things I need to work on, and there's 3 machines back there right now. I've got Pinbot is having the visor problem that I couldn't sort through at the other place. Tales from the Crypt is having all kinds of problems. It's back there, and Speakeasy is back there. It has a light board problem. It needs to be repinned is basically it, but I don't have a good space to work on it at the other place. So Spike is leaving. Thanks again, Seven. Always fun hanging out, even if we have no proper names. It's almost movie time. See you next time. Yeah, I'm actually going to head out because it's about 10 o'clock, and I'm going to do a few things. Since there's nobody in here, I've got a few little cleanup things that I need to do in the room next door, and I need to bring the tables in because I'm going to do plumbing tomorrow. So I'm going to end the chat in the stream. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and maybe we'll start doing this on Saturdays. And Recess says, thanks for the dream. Maybe we'll start doing these on Saturdays because I like doing the streams when there's a lot of people around, and it's kind of sucky to do them when there's nobody in here that looks bad, right? Even though we're busy. We're making more money than we did last year, but it just doesn't look like it right now. But yeah, so maybe we'll start doing those on Saturday. Anyway, all right. So